Hey, it's Jennifer here from Belladonna's Botanicals. Got a little behind on the 12 days of Yule, so because I did not bother me. I did not pre-record everything, so I'm kind of doing this by the seat of my pants because how have we not met? This is how I roll. Anyways, so for today, I'm shooting these out of order. Today is on the topic of reflecting on death and rebirth in any way. So what I wanted to talk about on that topic was where I'm at, as I've talked about in a couple of the previous videos, especially in the Spiritual Awakening series and some of the spirit work series, working with the demonic divine and dark goddesses. I think I focus on ego death and rebirth because that's about where I'm at right now. I made it through some major life changes and things like that this year. And as far as my spiritual growth goes, is that I'm in a place right now of, well, now what? And that's a good, and that has me a little stumped sometimes, the now what of it all. And now what? That is a big question because the whole theme right now of my existence has been death and rebirth. This whole year of 2023 has been letting go of that which no longer serves you, and letting go of toxic people, toxic relationships, just see ya. Oh, by the way, if you look at my hands, I'm not injured. It's soap dye. For some reason, my magenta soap dye leaked. It matches my hair a bit, and my fingers are kind of purple. So, anyhow. Now, where I left off in this, because I moved at the end of September, so the past 6 months of my existence have been pretty freaking crazy. And, you know, it was preparing to move forward, all that leaving behind. I spent almost, 25 years in Philadelphia. I spent like half my life in Philadelphia. Maybe not consecutively, but in that area, I spent that much time. And I let go of my life there. I got divorced in 2017. So, it's honestly, I kind of wish I had moved back then, but, would have saved myself some dipshit exes, but, here we are. I feel like I kept trying to make things work. I kept trying to reinvent myself, kept trying to rebirth the thing, and not realizing I had to let it die. So there is a beauty in letting go, in cutting cords, in things coming to their natural end. And that doesn't have to be death in a horrible, in a traumatic way, but it's closing the chapter of that point in time in your life. That version of me is dead. That part of my life is gone. I am not reinventing it. I'm not attached to it. And honestly, if I ever make it back to Philadelphia again, it's not going to be for a long time. Because anytime I think about going to Philadelphia or getting close to it, even to go to like the airport, and mark my words on this. I say this as a Pennsylvanian. I would rather drive to Newark, New Jersey airport than Philadelphia airport. So if you live on like South or Northeastern PA and in New York, we make fun of New Jersey all the time. So the fact that I am willingly like, no, I would prefer to go to New Jersey for this, big thing. No diss to New Jersey. It's just, that's a little sidebar. One of my favorite things to do when I travel is find out wherever I'm at, what's your New Jersey? What's the town, city, state, country you make fun of like we do with New Jersey? Interesting results when I've traveled. So getting back onto my reflections of death and rebirth. So I moved right around Mabon. It was the end of September 27th. It was the end of that month. Everything was kind of pushing and towards that. So I was in a lot of, there's a lot of inertia that, I couldn't really start a lot of new things because everything was kind of tied up in Project GTFO Philly. And boy, howdy, did I GTFO. So where did that leave me here? Once I moved, I went straight into, I've got to get everything set up as fast as humanly possible so I can deal with the holiday season. So I pretty much moved, got unpacked as fast as I could, settled in, got everything back up and running. My mom helped out a lot with that, which God love her. The questions she has sometimes about things is just funny. She's like, why do you have so many dimes everywhere? I'm like, the coins. Cause I'm like, well, when I lived in Philadelphia, I had like dimes and crystals above all the doorways for like the house spirits. So, and as I was packing, I just kind of swept them into boxes. So there was just random dimes and little crystals everywhere. But so now I'm at the point where I've made it through the holiday season, where not only am I trying to figure out what I want to do with the business big picture wise moving forward, because I feel like the past 2 years have involved a lot of inertia, a lot of treading in place, and a lot of battling to get out. And I mean, I'll just say this here. I'm 48 years old. It is never too late. You are never too old to completely go to the world, redefine yourself, and redefine your existence. I am much happier for it. Having gotten out of Philly, I wish I'd done it much longer ago. But, I had to finish out my story there. And I kept trying to, write some sequels and prequels, and it just wasn't working. And someone just needed to be like, sweetie, let's just close this chapter. So be that as it may, where do I go from here? Well, I mean, my spiritual practice is always ever evolving. I mean, I haven't been able to do a lot of the ritual stuff that I used to do because I'm still kind of getting settled in, and I just kind of had to entirely change my processes for how I do everything because I'm in a different space. Like, I mean, I film in here a lot now. This is my main studio area. So I've got my, this half, which luckily faces a window, which I'm very happy about. So I don't have to stare at a wall anymore. Is, that's where I have my desk and my printers and, stuff on the floor that you can't see. And then I have, all the lining of products and materials, my workstation where I pack orders and make stuff on the opposite side, the storage room and all that. But everything changed. And I do still do stuff in the kitchen. It's just primarily when I was working before, everything I was doing was in the kitchen. So that's a big change. Like I'm currently, I just finished up making some soap. And I have there's some things I do in the kitchen, but only really if I need the stove for any reason. Like if I need to make soap, if I need to make flying ointments, because I use the Modern Witch's Cauldron crock pots for that. Like, what are those things? Or, so some of my processes changed. It took me some time to really get things kind of right in a way that my workflow is much better. And, a lot of this was redefining, like changing all the bad habits I got into since the of 2020, which now is 4 years ago, but that should fuck people up. It changed a lot for me. I love working from home just because with my health issues and with my brain that sometimes doesn't work, it's just easier for me. Like today, I just wasn't really feeling all that great. So I took stuff to the post office like first thing in the morning. I came back and laid in bed until about 3 p.m. And I'm just now kind of starting to get some stuff done. But I'm trying to have better work-life balance because all I was doing was working because I had nothing else. My family is close by now. I have friends up here. I do social things. OMG. So that is a big change for me. And now looking forward, now that I've kind of gotten through the holiday rush, and not for nothing, I deal with some seasonal depression this time of year, so I've just been kind of on the mood side. I'm just tired and kind of cranky. But yeah, so death and rebirth. So I will try to remember to link the videos below about it. That I did a longer video on the spiritual awakening series about my experiences with ego death and crossing the abyss and all that. So now that I got through that part, it's kind of like, well, what now? So where do you go after you've experienced that? Luckily, the spirits gave me a little bit of a reprieve. They're kind of like, all right, you did some heavy lifting here. You've got some major changes going on. We're not going to, just ease through it. So what I'm starting to do now is get back into, because now I have to redevelop my regular spiritual practices. I'm doing stuff, don't get me wrong, but just trying to figure out how to move forward with that, what I want to do, who I want to work with, what I want to work on. And I have some things in the fire. I've mentioned like the Goetia Pathworking series. I'm going to start that up a little. I started a little. I just haven't had the time just because of the holidays and the seasonal bleh. So ego death and rebirth. So how am I going to redefine myself for 2024? There's a lot that I want to do as far as looking at the business and re-examining what's working, what's not working, what could I do better, how can I expand, are there other collaborations I can do to grow the business more. And I fall into sort of the dilemma of I make enough money to live comfortably. Granted, it's tenuous sometimes, because if I had some major fuck up happen, it could put me out on the street, like something major, catastrophic going on. But, at least here I'm closer to family. I've got support on things. Like if I needed help with something, I could, sometimes timing. My mom can help me right now. They're both sick, but my brother can help me, or my nephew, any of those things. So, I have family support now, which I didn't have before. And that's really nice. I really like that. And I think that one of the things I want to do for next year, outside of like setting aside business, is I want to get in better regular habits, because I am so much of a fly by the seat of your pants person. Like I never realize it's a Sabbath until like the day of, or some, holiday thing that, oh, it's the Lionsgate portal. Oh, it's 11/11 portal. Oh, it's, this holiday or full moon or this in retrograde or some planetary thing. And I'm like completely oblivious to a lot of that stuff. So what I want to do is have more regularly structured practices. And I think it's going to be a year of expansion for me. Like I feel like I made it through one big hurdle. There's some other stuff coming down the pike, and I don't know what it is yet. And I love bringing content. I love making content for the channel, and I wish algorithms didn't suck. But how do I feel having gone through ego death? I feel like I left everything behind that I really needed to leave behind. There's lingering stuff. We've all got things. We've all got shadows. We've all got, trauma. We've all got, things that happened in our life. And where do we go from that? We heal. We address those things. We look at that thing, that shadow, that thing that needs to be healed, and we go, okay, how do we deal with this? I'm going to continue to deal with this. I mean, I've had a lot of luck for my mental health with like psychedelic medicine. So I'm going to continue with my ketamine treatments. I'm going to continue with, once I'm done with the 3 round, I'm just finishing up the first round. I'll probably finish up the last dose this weekend. But you know, I have 2 more in that, and they're 6 each. So probably once I'm done with all of that, or if I take an extended break in between any of them, I probably will go back to microdosing psilocybin because that really did help keep me even keel. I also have my medical marijuana card. So I'm more into edibles these days. Smoking makes me cough too much. So I'm just going to keep expanding, keep on experiencing, keep on learning, keep on breathing, because I feel like I accomplished so much and there's so much more to go. I'm just coming out of clawing my way through the vines and the earth and out of the coffin into a full rebirth, which probably will happen more over the course of the progression towards spring, because I'm absolutely useless in between the time changes. Like I will count down I literally will count down the days to the time change in the spring, because oh my god, I like can't stand the fact that it gets dark by like 5 o'clock here, or even like 4:30 sometime. Again, in December it's like 4:30, it's dark. So I know I've been rambling on a little bit about this, but yeah, I just kind of want to give you some perspective on death and rebirth. I think that's a very common theme this time of year. If you know, when I need to work on anything death and rebirth, I go to my underworld and abyssal spirits that I work with. I work with Abaddon. I work with Santa Muerte, Morgan, Hecate, a whole bunch of other ones, I think. Yeah, so those are just the different ones I work with. And it's not to say I won't work with other underworld spirits. I tend to work a little bit more with the underworld dark goddesses, but you know, I think that there's different spirits I might work with. I mean, obviously I mentioned the Goetia, but yeah. So I'm looking forward to what comes in 2024 outside of the presidential election in the United States, because those are always shit show years. I'm probably going to very likely minimize my social media intake as a result. I can't deal. I hate politics. No, I really don't. I really don't like it. Anyways, so I've rambled on long enough for this, but anyways, so that's just a little bit of where I'm at on the topic of death and rebirth. I'm excited. I'll be more excited when it's brighter outside. But I digress. It's the winter. I get seasonal depression. Anyways, thank you for watching. Don't forget to click like and subscribe. Click the notification bell. Not that it actually notifies you of anything, but don't forget to follow us on social media. Sign up for our e-newsletter just to keep track of everything we have going on. We always have we have different sales and promotions going on, new products coming out, new videos that aren't getting watched because the algorithm sucks. And that's a wrap. Love you all. Bye-bye.